Finding Nemo, Nemo and the Tank Gang. One day, a little clownfish named Nemo got into big trouble. When his father Marlin wasn't looking, he swam out to the open sea on a dare. Marlin realized what Nemo had done and yelled at him to come back. Suddenly, a scuba diver grabbed Nemo and put him in a bag. "Daddy, Daddy," called Nemo, crawled, hoping his father could save him. But another diver swam up and took a picture of Marlin. The flash blinded him for a minute. The divers quickly took Nemo back to their boat and left. The next thing Nemo knew, he was being plunged into some strange water. The clownfish swam straight into some scary-looking tiki heads. He screamed, and then, bam! He hit the glass wall. Nemo realized that he was in a fish tank, which was nothing like the ocean. It had glass walls all around and was located in a dentist's office in Sydney, Australia. Nemo had never been so far away from home, or his daddy. When the dentist peered in at him, Nemo was so startled he bumped into a fake treasure chest, which popped open and let out a stream of bubbles. A yellow tang fish swam over and tried to push all the bubbles back inside the chest. Nemo didn't know what to think. Fish didn't act like this in the ocean. Then a starfish named Peach unstuck herself from the glass and waved hello. Still a little scared, the clownfish hid inside a miniature diver's helmet. Before long, the whole gang of fish appeared and introduced themselves. There was Bloat, a blowfish, Deb, a blue and white humbug fish, Gurgle, a royal gamma fish, Jacques, a tiny cleaner shrimp, and Bubbles, a yellow tang fish who was crazy about bubbles. Nemo thought the fish seemed friendly. When they learned he was from the ocean, or the Big Blue as they called it, they were amazed. Most of them had come from pet stores. Soon a pelican named Nigel came by. Gurgle introduced the pelican to Nemo and told him how the clownfish had been taken from the reef. When the dentist spotted Nigel, he shooed the pelican out of the window, knocking over a frame with a photo of a little girl in it. "This here's Darla," the dentist told the patient. "She's my niece. Gonna be 8 this week." Then he looked over at Nemo. "She's gonna be here Friday to pick you up." "She's a fish killer," muttered Peach. Nemo panicked and wanted to go back to his dad. He darted around the tank but got stuck in the intake tube. "Daddy, help me," he called. A Moorish idolfish named Gil appeared from behind a plastic skull. "You can get yourself out," he said. "Just concentrate." Nemo explained that one of his fins was smaller than the other. He didn't think he could do it. Gil showed him his own severed fin. "Never stop me," so Nemo swam as hard as he could. Before long, he had freed himself. That night, Jacques woke up Nemo and led him to a volcano in the center of the tank. As they got closer, Nemo spotted the rest of the fish. He wondered what was going on. "We want you to join our club, kid," Peach explained. "If you are able to swim through the ring of fire," Bloat added dramatically. A wall of bubbles erupted from the volcano. The tank gang chanted Nemo's name, urging him on. The little clownfish concentrated and quickly zoomed through the bubbles. Gil smiled at him. "From this moment on, you will be known as Shark Bait," he said. "Shark Bait's one of us," Gil continued. He paused. "Darla's coming in 5 days. So what are we going to do?" No one said anything. Luckily, Gil had an escape plan. Nemo was the only one small enough to swim into the filter and jam it with a pebble. If he completed that dangerous task, the tank would get dirty. The dentist would have to put the fish in bags while he cleaned. Once he did, the tank gang would roll their bags down the counter to the window, off the awning, across the street, and into freedom of the harbor. "Let's do it," Nemo said. He was anxious to see his dad. The next day, while the tank gang was waiting for the dentist to take a break, Gil told Nemo that he'd injured his fin trying to jump in the toilet during the first escape attempt. "The toilet?" Nemo asked. All drains lead to the ocean, kid, Gil replied. When the dentist left, Nemo gathered his courage, swam hard into the filter, and jammed it with a pebble. The filter blade stopped for a moment, but then the pebble slipped, and the deadly blade started whirling again. Even worse, Nemo was being sucked backwards towards the blades. His quick-thinking friends rushed into action. They pushed a plant into the tube and pulled Nemo back to safety. Gil's escape plan was ruined. The tank gang was silent. The Moorish idlefish swam away, ashamed that he'd put the little clownfish life in danger. Not long after that, Nigel heard an interesting bit of gossip. It was about a clownfish who was looking for his son. A tiny fish that had battled 3 sharks, escaped from hungry anglerfish, even survived a school of jellyfish, now was traveling towards Sydney. A bunch of sea turtles had given him a ride, then told other ocean creatures about the clownfish's adventures. When Nigel heard the story, he was sure that the fish had to be Nemo's father. He flew to the dentist's office to tell Nemo. At first, the little clownfish didn't believe Nigel's story. His father was too scared to swim in the open ocean. Traveling this far meant Marlin was being very brave. Now Nemo felt brave too. He was determined to escape from the tank. He fled and find his father as quickly as possible. In a flash, Nemo picked up a new pebble and jammed it into the filter. This time, the plan worked. Soon, the tank would get very dirty. The next day, the tank was covered in green algae. Nemo knew there was a chance he might get to go home soon. "Look at that," Gil said to Nemo. "Absolutely filthy. And it's all thanks to you, kid." Nemo giggled. Then Gil caught Jacques cleaning and told him to stop. Bloat, on the other hand, loved wallowing around in the muck. When the dentist came in, he ran his finger along the inside of the tank. He sighed and told the receptionist that he'd have to clean it before Darla arrived to pick